So we're going to convert between the decimal and degree, minute, second form for measures of angles, okay? So although subdivision of a degree may be obtained by using decimals, the notation of minutes and seconds may also be used. So what is a minute? So 1 minute, denoted 1 and then a little apostrophe here. This is defined as 1/60 degrees. Okay, 1/60 of a degree. Now, 1 second, this is denoted to be 1 and then quotation, okay? And this is defined as 1/60 minutes, okay? So it's also the same as one over 3600 degrees. Okay? So an angle of, say, 30 degrees, 40 minutes, and 10 seconds is what? Is the same as saying 30 degrees, 40 minutes, and 10 seconds. That's how you would write that in this notation. Okay, so hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. All right. So to kind of summarize everything up, 1 counterclockwise turn is equivalent to 360 degrees, okay? 1 degree is equal to 60 minutes, and 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. And you know that 1 degree is equal to 3,600 seconds, okay? So sometimes it's necessary for us to convert between degrees, minutes, second notation, which, this is sometimes abbreviated. Sometimes this thing right here is abbreviated as DMS. So if you see that, that's what that means, DMS, degrees, minutes, seconds, to decimal form and vice versa. So what we're going to do, we're going to convert. So I'm going to take 50 degrees, 6 minutes, and 21 seconds, and I'm going to convert it to a decimal. So how do I even go about doing this, right? So I want to round my answer, to 4 decimals. Okay, so what do? Well, here's what I know. I know 1 minute is equal to 1/60 degrees, okay? And I know that 1 second is equal to 1/60 minutes, which is equal to 1/3600 degrees. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 50, all right? The 50 is the 50, okay? But then I also have this six minutes, okay? And then I also have my 21 seconds, and I'm going to break them up into the pieces. Now, I want to convert this to decimal degrees. Now, the 50 is whole. Where my decimal portion is going to come in is the minutes and then the seconds. So how do I get this? Well, if I'm going to convert this into degrees, I got to get rid of that minutes units. So how do I do that? I take the 6 and I multiply by 1 over 60. Okay? And that gets me my degrees. And then I take the 21 and I multiply by the 1 over 3600. And when I multiply this out, I'm going to get 50 degrees plus 0.1 plus 0.0058, right? Let's check with our calculator. Okay. So what did we have? We had 21, and then I divided by 3600. So if we're doing 4 decimals, I mean, if you wanted to do 5 and then round at the end, you could. That's fine. So when I add all these together, I get 50.10583 degrees, which in 4 decimals is going to get me 50.1058 degrees. Okay? So that's how that works right there. Cool. Now, let's convert, okay? Let's convert a decimal. Let's go the other way, and we're going to convert 21.256 degrees to the decimal minute second form. Okay? So how do we do this? How do we do it? Well, what do we know? We know 1 degree is equal to 60 minutes. 60 minutes, right? And I know that 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. Right? So 21.256 is equal to 21 degrees plus 0.256 degrees. Okay? So, what do I have? The 21 is good to go. We've got the degrees part done. Now we need to do the minutes. Okay? So 1 degree is equal to 60 minutes, right? So I'm going to take this and I'm going to multiply by 60 minutes. All right, so it's the exact opposite. To convert from degrees to decimal, I divide by 60. To convert back, what do? I do the opposite of dividing by 60. I multiply by 60, so 0.256 times 60. Okay, and so what does this lead to? What does it lead to? Well, it leads to 21 degrees plus 15.36 minutes, since I multiplied by 60 minutes. Okay, so what do I know here? Well, I've got 21 degrees plus 15 degrees plus 0.36 minutes. Well, how do I convert minutes to seconds? I take the 36 and I multiply by 60. So 21 degrees plus 15 degrees plus 0.36 times 60. So what's this get me? I'm sorry, I've made a goof here. These are minutes. Okay, so that's in minutes. And whenever I multiply here, this becomes seconds. And so I have 21 degrees and then plus 15 minutes. And then what's going on here? Multiply that together, I get 21.6 seconds. All right, so if I'm going to round, so maybe I'm going to round to the nearest second. How do I round to the nearest second? Well, 5 or more, raise the score. 4 or less, let it rest. Since it's a 6, it's 5 or more. I'm going to raise it from 21 up to 22. So my answer is 21 degrees, 15 minutes, and 22 seconds. So that's approximately what this decimal form converted to degrees, minutes, seconds will look like. So the big takeaway here, right? If I'm going to convert from decimal to degrees, minutes, seconds, then what am I going to do? I'm going to multiply by 60, right? And then if I'm going to go from decimal, minutes, seconds to, degrees, minutes, seconds to decimal, right? Then I'm going to divide by 60 at each round, okay? So hopefully this little summarization here helps you out when you're converting between decimal form of your angle and degrees, minutes, seconds.